Hey, welcome back to our channel. I'm Elizabeth Tice.
And I'm Scott Tice.
And we're going to share our journey, our spiritual journey.
Yeah, of you becoming a shaman and me figuring out what I am, which I'm not sure yet.
So last video we kind of spoke about like what led me back to shamanism, and so today's video we're going to talk about what someone can expect during a shayai when they go seek services from a shaman, and how my conversation went with my teacher, who was the first shaman I've ever seen during my shayai not experiment. I don't know why that word keeps coming in my head, but that appointment. And then just kind of going to the conversation piece that I had with my husband here of what support meant if I were, to become a shaman.
Yeah.
So without further ado, let's get started. So something a person can expect when they go get a shayai, and again, this is just my experience, is not me. It does not mean that this is the way that is true for every shaman. Okay, this is just my experience. So if you were to walk the same path as I did, what happened was my teacher made it really simple, and I just booked it onto her website, and it was easy as that. I didn't even have to it was a telehealth shayai, and
It was quite a fascinating experience, like booking it and showing up and seeing how it happened without actually being there.
Yeah, because I didn't have to bring any incense sticks. She lives many states away, and she already has that offering prepared. Yeah. And all I had to do was pay the fee, and then she tacked on the offering fee that went along with it.
Yeah, it was a pretty easy experience. It went very smooth.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, when I booked it, I was super anxious about it, because I was I felt like it was gonna be life-changing, which it kind of was. It was kind of life-changing, but it's just that feeling do I want to know? I don't know.
It led to an interesting year, that's for sure.
It definitely gave me existential crisis a little bit,
Yeah.
But yeah, so I booked a session with her, my first shayai, and I had a couple of shayai with her before eventually really saying that I am going to walk the path of becoming a shaman, committing to that.
Fly out there and see if it was even a possibility.
Yeah. So my teacher, she, in order to become her student, my teacher's a she, in order to become a student, you have to go to her shrine and do a shake test, essentially meaning if your spirit guides can dance with hers, and mine did. But anyways, we're kind of jumping the gun here.
Yeah.
So when it finally came to my shayai appointment with my teacher, she told me that I had two types of spirit guides. One of them is, she said she saw a bunch of flowers, right? She saw a lot of images of flowers associated with one of the guide, which is typically associated with Tingsha Nishao, which is Buddhist type of guides. And then she also saw that I had a dragon spirit as well. And yeah, and she says that my higher self lives a very comfortable life. She's not spoiled, but she lives very well. She's very posh. And then that I am here on this plane of existence for a very specific task, which kind of sucks, because I was hoping that I was just kind of someone, just a soul living life through life, just to experience things. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like things get a little more complicated when you're sent here on this plane of existence for a specific task, because a lot of things outside of this world depends on if you complete successfully of that said task. And so I also was like asking my teacher because I'm really like close with my husband, and like a kid I was like trying to ask, what in the next life, like can I still have my husband, will we still meet each other?
The whole I forgot what it's called. Soulmates. Yeah.
She told me that I actually have someone else outside this lifetime, and that this specific lifetime is the only life that I'll have with my husband Scott, unless I specifically ask for that when I pass on. But this is the only time our paths will cross. That was a hard pill to swallow, and to come to term with that.
Yeah, it is fascinating, especially when you start looking at like your kids and wondering if you're even connected with your kids in the other life, and you start to realize that a lot of the stuff that you're going through on Earth is simply going through it on Earth, and then once you're gone, it's moving on to whatever's next.
Yeah.
Perspective. It could be sad or it could be exciting, and we've all lived lives before, so it's not like this was the first time this has happened.
That's true. Like, that's one thing I know for a fact that happens, is that we lose our memories, right? And there's a reason for that. Can you imagine if you remembered all of your lifetimes? I know some people that they are meant to carry on those memories and whatnot for a specific reason. But
it's a lot to carry.
That is a lot to carry, yes, to be unburdened by past memories.
Reminds me of that one drama that we watched at one time.
Which one?
Where she started to remember all of her past lives.
Which one was that?
When she was a kid. Remember when she came back?
Oh, that Korean drama.
Yeah, she remembered everything that happened.
I thought she always remembered, like she knew.
Yeah, every time she died and came back, she would remember her past life.
I can't remember what that drama was called.
Neither can I.
But it's on Netflix.
Insert edit here.
Hey, I'm gonna be the one editing. That's my work. Anyways, so yeah, that was a hard pill to swallow and to come to term. I mean, it's up to you if you were in my shoe to like really believe that. I believe in it, so it was hard for me to swallow. But for someone else, they'd be like, that's not true. That's not gonna whatever.
Probably, thank God.
So hopefully not. But I love Scott a lot, so to me, I wasn't like, thank God. If anything, it made me nervous because you're like such a security blanket for me.
Yeah.
You're my biggest supporter, so
I'll always be here to support you until apparently the day we die. And then we'll go our separate ways.
So, what else that came up during my Shayai? I was supposed to be a shaman when I was between the age of 14 and 16. I'm 32 right now, right? I'm 32. Yeah. I swear, I stopped counting my age after I turned 30. But yeah, I'm 32 right now, so I was supposed to be a shaman like 14, 15 years ago. That didn't happen, and my teacher told me that when I did not become a shaman then, life got really hard for me, which I can attest to that. Life did get really hard for me. I had a lot of dark thoughts, and my mental health was really bad. Like, if there's a flat line, it was flat line. Is that okay?
Yeah. I think YouTube will grace you with that one.
Okay. Try not to get my video X'd out. So, but yeah, that was my mental hardship that happened when I did not become a shaman when I was supposed to. And then my teacher, she told me that now I can choose to be a shaman now, or I can wait a couple more years. And she said that if I did not pursue becoming a shaman, that I was gonna die early. Because what's the point of me being here when I was supposed to be here for a
Not doing your
specific
task.
purpose?
Going back home.
Yeah. And so, yeah. And that led to a lot of conversation with my husband.
Yeah, because I had no idea what any of this was. This was completely new to me. It was a lot of learning. I grew up in a quote unquote Christian household. I never really believed in faith though, because it felt hypocritical to me, because I just remember always having to put money into a hat and I didn't really care for that. So I actually consider myself an atheist for a long period of time. And I've always been curious though. Like I've never denounced any religion. I've always been curious about all the different types of religions, and I was extremely fascinated by this entire journey and what's come up in the conversations we've had, what we've learned about each other, and yeah, it's been...
Yeah, so let's talk about
good.
a little bit of the conversations that we had, which was like the type of support that you would need to provide for me if I were to become a shaman, because one does not become a shaman and they can do everything by themselves. No, they need a lot of support. And some of those support means, okay, so certain lineage, they can choose not to do animal sacrifices. They use inanimate objects, like
Yeah, I've heard of rocks. We've heard of
pots and
pretty much anything that apparently you can put a soul into.
paper figurines of like animals instead of using actual animals. There's those, but then in my lineage with my teacher, we have the option of doing both. But I chose the animal because it's more wholesome, and it's the belief that I want to go with. And I think I personally think it's a really beautiful process. So when an animal gets sacrificed, we ask the spirit for permission, right? And then in exchange, we can lessen the punishment for that soul who is being reborn as animal as punishment. You can reduce their sentencing and how many times they're reborn as an animal, or you can hopefully help them be reborn as a human in their next lifetime. And in another video, that experience of asking the animal for permission was so like bizarrely cool, bizarrely strange. It was an experience.
Yeah, but when it comes to animal processing, that was a hard one for me because I didn't grow up killing animals. I didn't grow up processing animals.
I cannot kill the animal. Someone else has to kill the animal for me.
I will not kill the animal because...
Wait, I thought you said you couldn't say kill. You just said it.
Well, now you're gonna have to exit that out. So
I'll just beep.
But I couldn't get past
processing
or like killing the animal. I didn't want to kill the chicken, so we were trying to find ways to get that done without us having to do it. And
we did find a few businesses and backyard farmer who would help us process the animal if it comes. Okay.
And we're back.
Okay, we're back. Okay, sorry, the freaking camera just stopped recording. We found places that would record, no, not record, Liz, process the animal for us if it comes down to it, right?
Yeah. And I kind of feel like I got baited into it a little bit because we were talking about just doing black magic at the beginning, and then I thought we were only going to have to do it once, but I just like I found out during the ceremony that we're gonna have to do it for every shrine, and then after that we can do what do you guys call it? What's the Hmong word for black magic?
Coco.
Yeah. So that was interesting. her guides got what they wanted because they definitely wanted
Yes.
they
Okay.
wanted the animals. So
Okay, yes, my
we're committed
guides.
at this
Oh my
point.
god, why does it keep doing that? Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what was I
Well,
saying?
we were talking about black magic and how your guides.
Oh,
created
okay,
memes.
yeah. So my guides, they initially when wow, we're jumping way far ahead because we're talking about like already after the shake test and blah, 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 blah.
Okay, so we'll just end it with your guys wanted animals, and that's where that ended. That's
No,
what we
that
ended
we were going with the idea that there is just animal processing. There wasn't
Okay.
any other choice. Okay.
All right.
So that was a conversation.
You added a lot in this one.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot. It's unreal. Anyways, I'm gonna make you edit.
I'm gonna be worried.
Rude. Okay, so we were talking about animal processing, and then we were talking, budgeting like the cost of tools because not all tools are like $40. Some are like $200. Some are $560. The gong, the dam. Sorry, not the dam. The dongning, the horse, the bench. What?
It keeps focusing. It looks so bad.
Does it?
Yeah. Just focus on it while you're talking and you'll see it.
Oh my god. Okay. Are you happy with this one?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Anyways.
We can start over now.
No, I'm not starting over. You're gonna see these little multiple takes. Deal with it. Anyways, yeah, I'm just gonna sloppy chop that shit in too.
Sloppy chop that shit in.
I was talking about the horse, the doning. That was really expensive, and I was able to. Level 1 is like the simplest cost one because the shrine itself, you can just use like an end table for that. You don't need like a specific type of built shrine for it. And then we were talking about who's gonna hit the gong for me because
I think we should talk about cheap is a very light word you should be using. To get all of the tools that she needed, which apparently was at a great discount, we ended up spending between $800 to $1,000 just to get the tools.
Mm-hmm. And that was just like the basic of the basic.
Yeah.
A sword, three sets of juning, which are like circle gold round rings. Yeah, I couldn't think of it. And then you needed like the gong, and then you need the horns, and then you need simple things like joss paper, joss sticks, incense sticks. Sorry. You need
Cups.
Can you stop hitting the table, babe?
No, sorry.
Yeah, you need those cups and whatnot. And then you need to purchase sanning, which is like a big round circle thing. It's metal, and it has like a bunch of circle rings inside of it, and it's really loud, and you shake it like that. And there's like a smooth round one, and then there's one that has like spiky like spokes in it. They're meant for different things. Yeah, those are the type of tools that are the basic necessity that you need for your shrine.
Just to get going.
Just to get going, yeah. Yes. And then you need like yes. Anyways, there's a lot more. Okay. But and then we were talking about like who's gonna hit the gong, because I remember that I remember seeing shamans when growing up as a child, like the 2 times I've seen a shaman. Someone was hitting a gong, and I'm like, who's gonna hit the gong for me? Because you don't speak Hmong, or and,
Nope.
and you're just full English, okay,
Yeah.
full English. And so I'm like, how's this gonna work? But we're having that conversation, and then he was going to learn, like the keywords that you needed,
yeah.
and we were gonna learn it as we went. And then we were kind of talking about like
Yeah, because you still hit me sometimes with, you'll say something, and I'm like, do you want the spiky one or not?
Oh, when I asked the tsinning, when
Yeah.
I'm owning.
Yeah, you said, I'm like, is it the
Yeah.
non-spiky or the spiky? And then I ask and she clarifies it sternly.
Yeah, and like, ooh, I'm trying not to really jump the gun because this is still just video too.
Yeah.
I really want to stick with just the basics, so stick with the basics.
Okay, my bad.
Okay.
It just flows so well.
I know.
Okay.
But and then kind of going over like, well, what's his responsibility going to be besides hitting the gong? And it's going to be like, oh, you got to change out the jaw stick if it's running low. Jaw stick, why do I keep saying that? Incense sticks, if it's running low, you're going to have to replace that. If the candle's running low, he has to replace that too. And, just kind of going over that. That's a lot. Like, I mean, we did not have this conversation all in one take. Like, we had it 10, 20, 30 plus time.
And then she keeps moving her death dragon around her shrine and putting it close to things.
Babe, stop.
What? I'm just saying this. I have to move the candle.
He's pushing you. I'm just telling you the basis of the conversation that we're having.
My bad, okay.
But what he's referring to is I have trinkets on my shrine that has spirits in it. And
are you allowed to talk about that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
I can.
All right,
cool. I'm not in pain. But I have trinkets, and shamans, they have trinkets on their shrine, and it's supposed to have spirits in there protecting the shrine. And it is very bad. You should never touch that trinket. Only the shaman can touch that trinket because something bad will happen onto the person who touches it. It doesn't see. It's blind to face a relationship. It does not matter who you are to that person. And so, yes,
and she wanted to put it next to her candle. So now every time I go to move her candle, I'm like, I'm gonna touch the dragon.
Okay, the way how my shrine is placed, like, I don't want my trinket to be hidden. It just doesn't feel right. Okay. And it's nowhere near my candle. It's kind of like that thing where, like, you're on the edge of a cliff. You're not gonna jump off the cliff, but you're looking at it like, oh my god, but what if I jump? He's having that kind of moment. Anyways, and then something else that we had a conversation about was you believing my experience, hopefully genuinely, because it will be a very lonely road if my husband didn't believe in my experience. And I'm very blessed that he does believe my experience, and he takes what I say seriously, and he cares very much about the encounters that I have, and he listens so intently and with love and concern as well, and support. So that's really helpful. I know hearing some other shamans, they didn't get to experience that kind of experience with their significant other, and I feel really bad for them because luckily, Scott is very supportive of me in my journey and my spirit guides too. So another conversation that I had with Scott was about my lineage. So so complicated, but sticking to the basic of the beginning, the way beginning, my teacher said that our lineage is demon slaying. So the demon slaying type, they tend to be more like the old school style, like the black caps. So in shamanism, traditionally there's three types of cap. There's the white one, the red one, and the black one. The black one is the really old, the traditional, like the OG of shamanism. And all they do is slay demons and ghosts and entities and spirits and whatnot. They do a lot of the heavy lifting, right? And then there's the hybrid, like the New Age, which is a mixture of demon slaying and psychic.
Yeah.
What is that? Clairvoyant. Yeah. The white caps, they're fully like clairvoyant. They are super psychic. And again, this is just my information, okay, that I've learned thus far. My words are not facts. Please do fact check what I tell you and take what I say with a grain of salt, because again, I'm just sharing my experience with you.
Yeah, we're still learning and going through this
Yes,
journey on our own.
we are still learning and going through this journey
So hopefully
as we're talking about this.
leads to a good community that can have conversations and
Yeah, that's
answer
like
questions
our
and
whole
talk about
goal is
things.
just to like build a community that just have these open and honest conversations, right? Anyways, and so my lineage is demon slaying, the red cap. Okay. And then we were talking about, well, I was talking about my fear of exposing my family to like spirits and entities, because I have 2 younger children. One's 11 and one is almost 2. And, you know, I'm very protective of my little family. You know, we've been on we were our own village since ever.
Yeah.
You know, we do have really great support from my mother-in-law. She is so sweet. Like, anyways, I'm not going to go into that, but I really, you know, we do get support from family members too. But for the most part, Scott and we've been really just our own village. And I was a bit afraid of like the exposure that I would put my kids through if I became a shaman, you know. And that's when I just realized, like, I'm gonna work these guns out, and I'm gonna
See, you've always had that.
I'm gonna protect my family.
I've always been the around and find out type of person. So
I don't think we can cuss on this channel.
If the spirits want to come out, they're gonna around and find out.
Okay. Anyways,
Beat.
yeah, we're not bragging, saying we're like the baddest of the bad and we're gonna go whip some ass. We're not saying that whatsoever by any means. But I'm gonna do my very best, to whatever my extent is, to protecting my family. So.
And
yeah.
lastly, talk about how it'll affect your work.
Yes. So Scott and we are both actually therapists, marriage family therapists, trainees.
Yeah,
okay, we're trainees. We're currently in school. We're in the thick of school, and we are doing practicum as marriage family therapist trainee at a nonprofit, and it takes a lot of time out of our day. Like, I've never been so busy in my life that I have to block out schedule. Like, I have to schedule time for myself and for family time. And I've been privileged to never have to worry about trying to find time to just spend time with my husband, to have a date with him, to have a date with my daughter. You know, oh gosh, practicum really tests you, because like the channel's not about practicum, sorry, but we were talking about like, where are we gonna fit shamanism, like oning, into practicum schedule.
We've actually done a pretty good job at working it out.
All thanks to this guy though, because like I was telling my spirit guides and my teacher, I was like, I think I can go one time a week.
Yeah, she was trying to go once on Wednesdays, and I was like, that's insane. Like, we got time, it's just figuring out how to do it. So we've been going once a day, Monday through Thursday. So
yeah. But those are like the type of conversations that we were having.
Yeah, there's a lot of conversations, and there's a lot of funny stories that are definitely going to come down the pipeline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, that's all I can think about for now. If you have any questions, feel free to email the email down in the link below. And
they can just comment on the video,
or that
we'll try
too.
to respond to those as well.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll see you in the
See you in
video.
the next one.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening.